What's up, y'all? Another Bible study, Bible reading, 1 Corinthians 8. Now concerning things sacrificed to idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge makes arrogant, but love edifies. If anyone supposes that he knows anything, he has not yet known as he ought to know. See, the knowledge of this world is foolishness to God, as he spoke about in a previous chapter. If we think we know something according to the knowledge of this world, we know nothing. It's God who gives the wisdom, God who gives the understanding. But if anyone loves God, he is known by him. Therefore, concerning the eating of things sacrificed to idols, we know that there is no such thing as an idol in the world, and that there is no God but one. For even if there are so-called gods, whether in heaven or on earth, as indeed there are many gods and many lords, yet for us there is but one God, the Father, from whom are all things, and we exist for him, and one Lord, Jesus Christ, by whom are all things. By whom are all things. Now the other so-called gods, there aren't any other gods. The other so-called gods are either the fallen angels or their offspring, the giants. And a lot of the gods of the different societies actually go back to one man in the Bible, Nimrod, who was a giant. But there is one God, the Father, from whom are all things, and we exist for him. All things are from the Father, and we exist for him. And one Lord, Jesus Christ, by whom are all things. See, God created the world through Jesus, by Jesus. And we exist through him. However, not all men have this knowledge. But some, being accustomed to the idol until now, eat food as if it was sacrificed to an idol, and their conscience, being weak, is defiled. But food will not commend us to God. We are neither worse if we do not eat, neither the better if we do eat. Speaking of eating meat, see, there's a couple things to this. Let me keep reading a little bit. But take care that this liberty of yours does not become a stumbling block to the weak. For if someone sees you who have knowledge dining in an idol's temple, will not his conscience, if he is weak, be strengthened to eat things sacrificed to idols? So in this case, if someone saw Paul eating meat, eating meat sacrificed to an idol is wrong, and is now and was wrong back then. And Paul wouldn't have done that knowingly if he knew it was something sacrificed to an idol. But if someone sees him dining in an idol's temple, he might think he's just knowingly eating meat that was sacrificed to an idol that maybe he was even a part of. And this goes back to a previous chapter when I was speaking about the meat in the market. Some people were afraid to even were only vegetarians because they were afraid to even they didn't even have the faith to eat the meat in the market because they were afraid it might have been sacrificed to an idol. For through your knowledge, he who is weak is ruined. The brother for whose sake Christ died. And so, by sinning against the brethren and wounding their conscience when it is weak, you sin against Christ. Therefore, if food causes my brother to stumble, I will never eat meat again, so that I will not cause my brother to stumble or sin because he thinks it's okay. And I used the example before in the previous chapter. Like, I mean, a lot of y'all probably don't even follow the food laws, the clean and unclean meat, what God considers food, what the apostles consider food and didn't consider food. Like pork, shrimp, lobster. That stuff is unclean according to God. And if you look up, if you actually research the different stuff that's unclean according to God, it actually really is unclean and is bad for you. But I used the example before, like say I'm eating some Hebrew National hot dogs, which are beef hot dogs, and someone sees me eating some hot dogs, and knows I have not some type of knowledge on the ways of the Lord, and thinks, and then maybe they're new in the faith, and they look at me, and then they think it's okay to eat hot dogs, eat pork, and that could go with an example with anything. Say I'm anywhere. Say I'm in a club, but only for a certain reason. If someone sees me out in the club, thinks I'm out there like partying, and then they think that's okay, and it causes them to sin. See Paul saying, I'm not gonna do anything. I'll stop eating meat altogether if it's gonna cause my brother to sin. That's his point with the whole thing. I mean, even him eating in the idol's temple, even if he brought his own food that he killed and cooked himself, someone could look at him and be like, oh look, he's eating meat sacrificed to idols, and think it's okay. Yeah, that's the whole point of the whole thing. That's the end of 1 Corinthians 8. God bless you guys.